Hello and welcome back to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Today we're taking a look at the new 7-star Feraligatr raid. It's a Tera Dark Feraligatr, and it's available this weekend starting November 1st, and it will be available again next weekend as well, November 8th through 8th, 9th, 10th, I guess. So it's available for these 2 weekends. 7-star Feraligatr, one of the final 7-star starter Pokemon that we have. I think Torterra, and maybe Infernape we haven't seen yet. I'll get back to you on that just in case. But yeah, the dates are actually right here on screen. I should probably just read what's in front of me. Yeah, this weekend until November 3rd, and then next weekend, Friday, November 8th, until Sunday, November 10th. So, this 7-star Dark Tera Feraligatr, it seems like there's a few different options you've got, which is very good. This is the Kommo-o that I built last time we did a 7-star raid, and this one took advantage of the Iron Defense Body Press combo. If you built this exact same Kommo-o, it would also do really well against the Feraligatr here, just with a couple of changes that we can look into in just a moment. But without really doing a ton of work, just changing around some moves, you can still have some success against this Feraligatr. I'm also seeing folks having success with Clefable. I feel like we can take a look at the Feraligatr here actually. So here's its moveset. Its main 4 moves: Crunch, Liquidation, Ice Punch, and Psychic Fangs. It doesn't really have anything to deal with, like, say, a Water and Fairy type like Primarina or Azumarill. It does have Dragon Dance, Swords Dance, and Earthquake. It's going to use those at scripted moments during the raid. But I feel like if you have a Belly Drum Azumarill, like a Belly Drum Play Rough Azumarill, I feel like could have some success here. And the interesting thing is I'm surprised that people are having success with pardon me, with fighting types, because the Feraligatr knows the move Psychic Fangs, but it doesn't seem like Psychic Fangs is all too threatening, I guess. So let's take a look at what the Feraligatr is going to do during the raid itself. The very start of the raid, it's going to open with Swords Dance. Not long after, it's going to reduce our Terra Orb charge. It's going to reset our stat boosts at 80% health. So we're not gonna start to boost our own stats until after that happens, but we can at the beginning of the fight try to lower the Feraligatr's stats a little bit, and that's where a move called Breaking Swipe is going to come in. It's gonna put up its shield at 75%. 70% it's gonna always use Earthquake. 65% it's going to reset its own stats. So if you lower its stats at all, again, using Breaking Swipe, it's going to reset its stats. And then at 50%, it's going to do a last-ditch effort Dragon Dance. Now, here on Game8.co, they've listed both Kommo-o, which I had mentioned, and Koraidon as 2 of the best counters for 7-star Feraligatr. But as you can see, there is a long list of other Pokemon that you could definitely find success with. So the link for this will be down in the description if you want to take a look at some other sets if you'd like to try them out. The one that I'm going to do today is the Koraidon. I don't know that it's exactly the set that is listed on Game8 here, but we'll see that in a moment. But the Kommo-o, at least, that they have listed, again, it is the same, I guess, standard combo that you would expect. The Body Press and Iron Defense combo, very, very good. But Breaking Swipe is a really great move to use early in the raid to lower the Feraligatr's attack stat and also build your own Terra Charge before you start doing moves with the goal of doing a lot of damage. First, you can start by using Breaking Swipe to first just build your Terra Charge, and then Screech to lower the Feraligatr's defense stat. A thing to note about Screech and other moves that primarily just lower a Pokemon's stats is when a Terra Pokemon or when a Raid Pokemon puts their shield up these moves no longer work when the shield is up. If you use a move where its secondary effect, like Breaking Swipe is a damaging move, but its secondary effect is that it lowers the attack stat. The secondary effect will happen. So that's to me, these moves are better to use in these instances against these raid Pokemon, because the effect of the move where it lowers a stat will happen, where the shield will fully block a move like Screech. But it's still useful to use a Screech early, either to try to get early damage or what have you, maybe even after you break the shield. Then you could, even a single Screech, I think, would put in a lot of work late in the Tera fight. But that's just something to keep in mind if you go into a fight and maybe you're using Screech and it's not working and you're wondering why. That's why the shield blocks these types of moves, where their only effect is that they lower a Pokemon's stats. So the set that they have for Koraidon is Drain Punch, Swords Dance, Collision Course, and Breaking Swipe. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do this move set from Osirus on YouTube. You know Osirus. Osirus commentates for Pokemon VGC, and Osirus is very good at doing these 7-star videos. I mean, if you're not, if you're watching this video, you're probably wondering, well, why are you showing just another YouTube video? Just because this is, for me, less of a guide and more of just like this is how it went for me. So the build that I'm going to be using today is the build right here for Koraidon. It doesn't say that someone else in Osirus's community built this, so I'm going to assume that this is Osirus's own build that he cooked. So well done, Osirus. Sunny Day, Breaking Swipe, Bulk Up, and Drain Punch. The Sunny Day is interesting because Koraidon sets the sun with its ability, but if the sun goes away after so many turns or what have you, then you have the ability to reset the sun. Just because with Koraidon, it's really valuable to have the sun out because it also gives Koraidon an attack boost, which is very valuable. It's also holding the Expert Belt to do increased damage when you do a super effective hit. And our primary damaging move, as well as the move that's going to be keeping our Koraidon healthy, is Drain Punch. So that's the build. We're going to Breaking Swipe early to lower the Feraligatr's attack. We're going to Bulk Up after the Feraligatr hits about 80% health, and it resets our stats. Then we're going to start to Bulk Up, and then we can Drain Punch for big damage. We can Tera Fighting, and then Drain Punch for big damage, and then we can also keep our Koraidon healthy. So that is the plan with our Koraidon. So I've got it built here already. I will say, if you're a Pokemon Violet player and you don't have access to a Koraidon, I think the Body Press Kommo-o would be very good, as well as I had mentioned earlier. I think a lot of fairy types, frankly, would have success against the Feraligatr here, and more so, there's a Clefable build, and I mentioned earlier, I think Huge Power, Belly Drum, Play Rough, Azumarill, if you've got one built already, because that was such like an early game Scarlet and Violet, like good Tera Raid Pokemon, you might have that one built already, so you can give that one a try against Feraligatr. But we're gonna rock with the Koraidon today. Now then, where is the raid in question, the Feraligatr? Yeah, I believe that's a ground type. I believe other than Feraligatr, we just have, I think, Torterra, because I think it was 2 Sinnoh Pokemon, right? I think it was Feraligatr, Torterra, and Infernape, I want to say, are the only remaining starter Pokemon to not have received 7-star raids yet. But they've done Pokemon that aren't starters. Like, they've given other Pokemon 7-star raids, including Pikachu and Eevee were early ones, but then more recently, both, not Wishy-Washy, what's the new guy with like the sushi chef thing on his head, Tatsugiri, and the other fish whose name is escaping me. What is the name of that fish? That's going to drive me crazy. I'll think of it at some point. That fish, and also Dragonite. Dragonite received a 7-star raid. What is the name of that fish? That's gonna drive me nuts that I can't remember the name of that fish. Big blue fish guy. Yes. That's gonna drive me nuts. Anyway. Let me know the name of that fish down below. I'm sure I might, maybe I won't think of it. I don't know. Let me save the video game first before we hop in, just in case things go awry. And let me just double check before we go in here, because the last 2 videos I did of these, I forgot something the first time we attempted the raid. So we're level 100. We're holding an item. We have all the right moves. We are properly EV trained. Max HP, max attack, and we are adamant nature, and we are also hyper trained, where we have 31 IVs in all 6 stats. You're just gonna have to take my word on that, I guess. Okay, I think we should be fine. We're Terra fighting also. That's another thing that I probably should have checked, but I checked it earlier before I started recording, so. You're just gonna have to take my word for it. What is the name of that fish? Blue fish, big blue fish. I can't believe I forgot. I didn't like use one on my team for like a playthrough or anything. That's gonna drive me nuts. Anyway, speaking of big blue fish, Feraligatr's not a fish. Isn't it funny that the end of Feraligatr's name, they never like fixed it, you know what I mean? Like it's still just Feraligatr with the TR at the end, because that was the character limit in Gold and Silver. So they never put in an O or an E or anything. They never put in that vowel between the T and the R. So we can open with Breaking Swipe to lower the Feraligatr's attack stat and charge our Terra Orb. Oof. The burn is very nice. I think that must be from the Arcanine. The burn is very helpful. And if we need to heal, we can do so with a heal cheer. I was kind of surprised too when I saw this set that it wasn't rocking with the Shell Bell, but I mean, we've got Drain Punch for healing. But the burn is very nice. The burn is very helpful. If we had another Pokemon here too that could use Reflect, I think we would be in incredible shape. Okay, so I don't want to start using bulk ups until after it does the stat reset, because there's really no sense in using bulk ups. I think we can Terra fighting Drain Punch to heal now, though. That feels fine to me. This will also get rid of our Dragon typing, so Ice Punch won't be super effective anymore, so then the best move it'll have for us will be Psychic Fangs. And I always forget too that Psychic Fangs has the same sort of effect as Brick Break, where it can break, reflect, and light screen. And I just never remember that Psychic Fangs is a move that can do that, just because it's kind of a newer-ish move for the series. I don't remember when Psychic Fangs was introduced. Maybe Sun and Moon with like Bruxish might have been the first Pokemon to get Psychic Fangs. If I'm wrong about that, you can let me know. Okay. I believe it did the stat thing, so now we can start using bulk ups. The stat reset thing. But yeah, the fact that it's burned, really, really nice. And speaking of Osirus as well, I had mentioned the Clefable set earlier. Osirus has that... Oh, I want to keep using bulk up. Osirus has that video of the Clefable build as well. Again, if you've got Pokemon Violet, and you don't have access to a Koraidon, or if you don't have the DLC and you don't have access to a Kommo-o, then... Actually, I don't know if Clefable is in the base game or not, to tell you the truth. So that was a Drain Punch with 2 bulk ups. I guess we could just keep using bulk up, because it's not going to reset our stats anymore. it did reset its own stats, so now all of those breaking swipes are null and void, but we really only wanted them like early. And then there is, what was it, a 70% health earthquake or something like that. I think the sun also went away, right? I think it only lasts for 5 turns, correct me if I'm wrong. So we can use Sunny Day again to boost our damage. That was a big hit. Oops. That was a crit. Okay. Well, that, I mean, I'm gonna Drain Punch that for sure. It's kind of scary. It was a crit, and I don't know how much we're gonna be healing. We did a decent chunk. Okay, we healed basically back to full, so that's good. But it's no longer burned. Okay, it's really only gonna do a lot. Well, it could do more now, I suppose. But we can bulk up, I guess, to help mitigate that damage after the Dragon Dance. And I probably should have just like used a bunch more bulk ups before I started using Drain Punch, but healing is also important. And it got burned again, which is very good. So I think barring a rogue critical hit Psychic Fangs, I'm going to set up the Sun, which coincidentally is going to allow the Arcanine on our team to hit a little bit harder with Flamethrower. I don't think that's going to make much of a difference, but for the most part, it's going to help us do more damage. Now, what's interesting is the Feraligatr also has the move Liquidation, which has a chance to lower the attack stat of the Pokemon that it hits. So the Feraligatr could actually lower our attack stat with Liquidation. But it's interesting that it opted to go for Liquidation, especially when the sun is up now. I think Psychic Fangs is definitely its best option against us. But there goes its shield, so I think next turn, probably knock it out. This was pretty seamless, pretty good. I mean, Koraidon, it's a legendary, shouldn't be surprising, and it's a very good moveset as well. But you've got other options. You got maybe more. You know, you can build your damage quicker with Sword Stance if you wanted to do that. If you feel like increasing your defense stat with bulk up maybe isn't so necessary, you can just like Sword Stance to increase your attack stats sooner. Because you'll be healing with Drain Punch anyway, so that's, you know, a consideration if you wanted to play around with that. But yeah, now that it's said and done, pretty easy 7-star Tera Raid. With the Koraidon, at least. I've been catching all of my 7 stars in Premier Balls. I've mentioned this before. The only 7-star that I've missed so far was, I think, was it an Iron Bundle or a Delibird? I think it was an Iron Bundle. And it was like around last Christmas. And so I really hope that they do it again for this year's Christmas. Because I would like to have the opportunity to get that one, because I'm bummed that I missed it, because as far as I know, that's the only one that I've missed. So we got some sweet Herba Mystica, and that's a good thing too about these 7-star raids now is you can get Herba Mystica from them, a bunch of other really useful items. But that's it. That's the 7-star Feraligatr. Let me know in the comments below what you decided to use for this raid, if you used the Koraidon build here, or if you decided to use something else. Again, if you're playing Pokemon Violet and you don't have access to the Koraidon, let me know what you used perhaps instead, if it was successful. Let me know if you used the Koraidon and maybe it didn't even, it didn't go as well as it went for me. Okay, so in our boxes here, we've got the Feraligatr. Let me put him with the... Oh no, Infernape was the last raid. Of course, that's what we used the Kommo-o on. So I think now that it's been Infernape and Feraligatr, I'm pretty sure the final starter is the Torterra. So that'll probably close out the year, I imagine. Dondozo. Dondozo's the name of the big blue fish. Of course, you're probably screaming at your screen. Dondozo, of course. Anyway, so yeah, there you have it. There's the 7-star Feraligatr in the books. Hopefully you have an easy time with it. Again, it's available this weekend until midnight on Sunday night, and then next weekend, same deal, November 8th through 10th. Good luck with it. Have a good time, and I'll see you next time. Feel free to like the video if you liked, subscribe if you want more. Take care. See ya.